Powered by Riverside FM.
For this Browns Backers interview, please help me welcome from right here in Cleveland and everyone's favorite place to tailgate, the president of the Muni Lot Browns Backers, Scott. Scott, hey. Thanks for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Ready for another Guards win today.
Hell yes.
Heck yeah.
Hell yes. So, question for you here. Tell us about your chapter a little bit, or, when were you guys established? Obviously, you're in the Muni Lot. How many members do you have? Those types of things.
You got it. It's a little different story because the Browns have a pattern for how they set up these clubs, and usually they're away games with a host bar, place to watch your game when you're away. It's a little different for the Muni Lot Browns Backers because we're more of a home club, and we're more to support the actual tailgate community as opposed to the away game fans. Back in 2006, we built this bus, the bus that I've got now, which looks like the dog with the helmet. And I tried to get the Browns to become a backer and to get us to be backers, and they weren't into it at first. We finally convinced them when we met them at a club, the Put in Bay Club's event. They saw the bus. They said, "All right, you get a club." And but we're a little different. I mean, it is a little unique. The bus is basically like a Browns sports bar, rolling sports bar, portable friend making machine, and we kind of let the club revolve around that and grow from there. That was in 2007. They gave us our club. The original idea back then, they had a different setup for the clubs, and the largest club in the world was in Arizona. We thought that was wrong, that it should be in Cleveland. We tried to bring that back. They changed it since then. The biggest club is now in Cleveland. They changed the way they did things, but we were originally really all about making it the biggest club. Now we're really about making it the best tailgate and the best party for all the people that come down there. And we'll do things like the Browns will let us know, and the Muni Lot will let us know when they're going to open on certain days, where we should park, how we should line up. We try to comply, and it's like herding cats when you're herding folks from the Muni Lot, but actually it happens pretty well. They do come to the lot to find out the last minute details. They come to our Facebook page and such, and we go and we let them know what's been going on. So we got about 200 members now. It's grown pretty well. Now, the folks that think they're in the Muni Lot Browns Backers that are on our Facebook page, we probably got a couple thousand of those. But the ones who have actually joined, we got 200 of those. So
yeah, I hear. You're going to be getting 3 more, because one of the things that we do with all of the Browns Backers groups that we interview is after we're done with the interview, we go and we actually become a member of each group. So a little known fact that you can be a member of multiple Browns Backers group.
We'll follow along.
Yeah,
and we tell people that join our group that we promise you nothing and ask you for nothing in return. Really, you're just the person that says you're in the Muni Lot too. And we tell them if they're looking for something like the away game club experience, and we recommend them to different clubs, or tell them they should join a second one, or we would be the second one. And as far as I can tell, if you guys are cool in this interview, I'll approve you guys joining our club.
Oh, nice. It all hinges on this.
A lot of pressure to put on us.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, with that being said, you mentioned that you don't ask for anything and you don't give anything in return. However, you guys are constantly giving back to your community. You're doing some charity work. So can you tell us a little bit about the things that you're raising money for and how you're going about raising that money for these groups?
Absolutely. We got a gentleman in our club named Face Paint Mike Bunnell. His name's Mike Bunnell, obviously. We call him Face Paint, and I bet you could guess why.
Does he paint faces?
He does. He paints his own anyway. Some of the people that want to tease him call him Makeup Mike. He hates that, so I figured I'd have to say that on air. But he really is passionate about the charity side of this. Does this thing with J. Babe Stern and the Professional Football Unlimited Fan Association. And for us, he does a school drive that just happened last week. So we'll do a couple charity things a year. And then we also take the bus and support other clubs in their charity events. This last weekend, we went to an American Legion in Parma for a big fundraiser for them and set up a huge tailgate. We had people from the Burke lot that are our friends, some people that are under the bridge over by the pit. So all the tailgate communities, we kind of know each other, even if we're not all in the Muni, because sometimes they've been in the Muni or sometimes I've met them through other things. But we all support each other in these events too. So we had our bus there all day yesterday for that event too, raising money for those guys.
Nice. And so you mentioned events and things that you're doing. That bleeds into this weekend, right? I know there's got to be something big going on for the Bengals game.
Well, it's really just the same old big tailgate that we have. So, I mean, I hate to call it small, but it should be a big event anyway. I mean, opening day when it comes to tailgates is the biggest event of the year, and I don't care how good the Browns stay through the year. None of the other ones are ever quite as much crowd as that. But this will be a good one, especially with 3 games away and the first one coming back, and everybody just chomping at the bit to get back into the tailgate community and scene.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got.
Go ahead, Kenny.
So I'm just curious about the bus. So do you just have the bus outfitted with like a bunch of TVs, like inside and out, or? Well,
the Muni Lot Browns Backer club actually consists of multiple tailgate vehicles. Ours was the first one that set it up. We have that bus. Probably you've seen it, the dog with the helmet. It was a couple of Browns posters a couple of years ago. It's in the inside. It's really a rolling bar. It's got a TV in the front. We have a DirecTV set up, and we watch the game on the bus. And people do stay and watch the game on the bus, even other than going in. Some of them, and it's really just a place for about 20 people to hang out. Larry, who has the kennel bus, parks across from me. And if you see that "Welcome to the Muni Lot" banner, that's under both of our front wheels. He's got probably 15 TVs in his bus and more comfortable seating around. It's more of a living room arrangement, more like the lounge as opposed to the bar side of the club. And then there's a couple of RVs that are hooked into us. There's several vehicles that have become part of the Muni Lot Browns Backers and are all part of that little conglomeration right underneath that banner there. I think we're taking up about 24 spots now.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, it's grown pretty well.
And you go ahead.
I was just going to say there's a gentleman that does this Tailgate Hall of Fame, and he went around to all 31 years ago, all 31 stadiums, and he gave out 2 coins to the best tailgates. Browns Bunch and Muni Lot Browns Backers, us got it the first year, and it's grown from there. So a lot of our members in Muni Lot Browns Backers also have Tailgate Hall of Fame coins. And a really cool event happens every August where we get together for the Hall of Fame game in a campground in Canton. And it's up to now 80 different tailgates from all over the country that are a part of this organization that all come together and party for a long weekend.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, we got folks coming in from the San Diego game, from San Diego, setting up a tailgate in our area. And it's our job to protect them from the old school Muni Lot folks that might not feel that that's appropriate to have opposing fans with you. And I just tell them, these guys have been my friends. I've seen the Browns out in California in 3 different places, playing San Diego or now LA. And these guys, I stay at their house. They stay at mine. I mean, I'm not going to tell them they can't come down to the Muni. It's a blast.
Right.
And it's all about making the friends to us anyway.
Listen, Scott, you sound like the best kind of fan. The kind of fans that are like, we just want to have fun. That's the bottom line. And we don't care, what team's colors you're wearing, other than maybe the Steelers. We hate them.
Don't let them in.
But besides that, we're friends with everybody.
The Steelers fans are kind of fun too, even though their team sucks. They're fun, but they are a blast. We party with anybody. My friend again, Face Paint Mike, one of his sayings is "Hate the team, not the fan," and we kind of follow that. And I think it's kind of extended into the Muni Lot. Something I learned recently that was a real surprise: there hasn't been an arrest in the Muni Lot for 8 years. Wow. You hear about all the trouble happening at the stadium now and then, and just people getting drunk, and you think of the Muni Lot as being the craziest spot. But it's really a love fest down there. It's beautiful. Everybody just gets along. It has just been fantastic lately. Now, still not necessarily where I'd want to take my 6-year-old, but it's definitely a blast, and you shouldn't have to worry. We have traditions when it comes to opposing fans. We give them this ancient Japanese greeting. We say "aso, aso" as they walk by. But the kind of rule is you don't throw anything at them. You don't take their stuff. Don't physically mess with them. You can say whatever you want. And most fans that come from the out of state or out of at least the area aren't looking for any special treatment. They're just looking not to be abused. And we'll invite them on the bus and hang out with them for a little while, and everybody is welcome. The bus is open, kind of like an open public space for folks to walk on and off.
This is my new favorite place to tailgate.
I was going to say, this is the most unique.
You got to come to you got to come check
experience.
It out. Yeah, you got to come. You got to come for at 4:00 in the morning when we head down there. You got to come and do the whole thing with us.
That's a little early for me, but I will say this, guy. I have actually been on your bus and seen the inside of it in the past. Just a quick walkthrough we used to have season tickets several years ago. And one of the times we were down there tailgating, getting ready for a game, I was just kind of wandering, and I happened to wander on your bus. I may or may not have been a little inebriated, So I don't fully remember the whole thing.
I think they offered us shots though. When we
They
got
did,
on the bus.
Yeah, that's what we do. We have the Otto shot named after legendary quarterback Otto Graham.
I think it might have been you, Scott.
It probably was. It probably was. It was either me or my girl. And one of the two of us are the ones pouring. She's faster at it than I am.
But no, you talked about coming home from the road trip here. So a couple of things. What are your thoughts on this year's version of the Cleveland Browns? Obviously, it's been disappointing, but what are your thoughts on the team this year?
Well, I mean, I'll start with injuries because that's a good excuse, right? You can talk about people playing well or not, but you can blame it on injuries no matter what. With injuries, especially offensive line was our strength. Now we've got some weakness on one side of it at least, and it's been a big problem. That said, I'm not sure we'd have the same problems with the same injuries with the same person at the helm. And I don't want to be that guy because I was for it. I said, all right. First, I love Baker's attitude, and I love Baker. And I didn't want to get rid of him. But when I looked at Deshaun, especially being from fantasy football all these years, said, this is a real player. He's top 5 every year. He's got better footwork, that kind of stuff. You're looking at the details. I'm not sure he has a better attitude. I'm not sure that guaranteed money doesn't mean guaranteed money and I don't have to try. It feels that way sometimes. So just from what you see, it doesn't look like he sees the field. It looks like he's got all the skills of the physical skills, but he doesn't really see what's going on fast enough to make a quick enough decision. So the line's getting blamed for giving up sacks when I'm not certain it's not taking him longer than others. So my gut feeling is that I like to blame him a little bit on it, and I'd like to see what would happen if we put Jameis in. I'm probably not very uncommon opinion anymore here.
No, and we actually have talked about it extensively for the past several weeks. Kenny actually has been calling for his job since like basically he started for the Browns. But no, we have talked a lot this season about exactly what you just said. He is top 10 in time to throw. Number 7. I don't know what the updated rankings are after this past week, but going into this past week, he was number 7 in time to throw. So he has plenty of time. He's just not making decisions.
And they're throwing the ball plenty because he's top 10 in attempts, but he's last in yards. So there's a huge disconnect there.
Yep.
It doesn't seem like he can even throw it deep right now. Seems like the only thing he can see fast enough is the short route.
Exactly. And so, I mean, obviously there's those issues. But with that being said, are you excited to see the return of Nick Chubb this week?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The guy's a class guy in addition to being a class ball player. Everything you see about him, everybody you meet that's associated with him, they're all cool as can be. And he's a star. He's so good. And maybe if they get him back, they'll actually decide to run the ball. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Isn't it odd that just the dichotomy of Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb?
You go from a frown to a smile real quick.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And with all that, what do you think the Browns are actually going to do this week against the Bengals?
I'll tell you why I think they're going to win. Because the Bengals have a way of losing to the Browns. The Bengals are the Browns when they play the Browns, if you don't mind me saying it that way. It seems like they could be fantastic, but I have a friend of mine who we gamble. Now we gamble $2. That's always my limit because you don't lose friends with $2. But we bet $2 on each of the games against the Bengals, and then whoever has the best record. And I haven't lost all 3 to them yet. Even as bad as we were, we always seem to have like one of the 4 games we might win for the year would be against those guys. So the Bengals, I'm not as afraid of them. They've also had just worse luck than us. Even though I think right now they got better personnel that's starting currently, at least more capabilities, it seems, that's not injured. But I think we're going to pull that one out. And then we'll probably lose more of them after that because we should have won.
Yeah. So do you have a score prediction for this week? And don't tell me we don't do score predictions. We've had that a number of times on the show. We're going to hold you to a score prediction.
Somebody asked me that one last year, and one of the news people came to me this year and said, you got it exactly right, and I didn't even remember it. But I don't normally get it right. Every time at the beginning of the year somebody asks me to predict the season, I always tell them undefeated Super Bowl winners just because I don't want to try. Nice. But in this case, I'm going to go with 16-10.
Okay, so
and I'll say, Yeah, and T. Higgins gets the touchdown for Cincy because he's on my fantasy team.
Nice. I like that. I like that. Well, I don't like them scoring at all, but I like that. It's going to help you out. But I see that you don't have them getting over the 20-point mark yet again.
No.
So that'll be 7 games in a row and probably some sort of new record in the NFL.
Maybe we'll see Jameis this week.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do another parade for it.
Yeah. Oh,
when they hit 20 points.
I'll tell you what, though. You remember we had the 0-16 parade. We did that more to tell the Browns that we loved what we were doing anyway. We had signs that said great fans, great tailgate, great times on the side of the bus when we did it. We didn't want to be, screw you Browns, because that's not how we feel. We love them no matter what. But we wanted to do this parade because it is one more way to party. It's one more party. So, but after those 2 seasons, 1-32 or 1-31, whatever it was, I get to the Muni Lot at 4 a.m. on opening day, and I am 70th in line at 4 a.m. So you can say whatever you want about how well they play, but it never affects the tailgate. It'll be fat and thin, somewhat different based on their win and lose, and sometimes somewhat significantly. But the early risers and the people I've known for these last 15, 20 years, they're all the same folks that I've known, and they're always going to be there. And like we always say, you make your own fun. You can't count on any team of any type to make it fun for you. You make your own fun, and if they happen to win, it just becomes more fun later.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, hey, Scott, listen,
Scott just sounds like a happy guy.
I like Scott's attitude and outlook on life. He makes me feel a little bit happier because I've been very, very depressed with the Browns this year. So,
Scott, come down to the Muni. We'll take care of that.
I'll actually be at the game tailgating this weekend. So I'm gonna try and make it a point to come over and see you. And we'll party on the bus a little bit. So
awesome. You do that.
But hey, Scott, we really appreciate the time. We wish we could keep talking to you all night long because this has been awesome, a lot of fun. But yeah, I appreciate it. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Keep those tailgates lively and just a huge party down there. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
You got it. Thank you for having me, you guys. It's been fun.
Thanks, Scott.
Fun. We're the Muni Lot Browns Backers, and you're listening to the Burning River Sportscast. Go Browns.